Team of the season is here, and having the right custom tactics is crucial for you to get the most amount of wins in FUT Champions and get you those better rewards. Today we are talking about the staple 4-4-2, one of the best formations to use on FIFA 23. Let's jump into it. For our defensive style, we are going to run pressure on heavy touch. This allows us to keep the opponent boxed in and press that ball and win the ball high up the pitch. If, however, though, you don't want to take that risk because it does drain a little bit more stamina and leaves your team shape a little bit out every now and then, you can just run this on balance. For new gen users and old gen users, we'd recommend going with that 40 width. We want to have it nice and compact inside the 18-yard box. We don't want to give up too much of the wing, so we will make sure we double down with our fullback and wingers, which we'll touch on later, but 40 width. We do run a little bit of a higher depth on this because we do want to box that opponent in, as I spoke about. For players that maybe aren't as comfortable running a higher depth, or old gen users, I'd recommend running about 45 here. But if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more of a higher line, 65 depth is going to be great. In our build-up play, when we pick that ball up, we are just going to go with balanced, nothing more there. And for our chance creation, we are going to want to have that on direct passing. We want to look for balls in behind to drive and lay it off to one of our other strikers for some simple tap-ins. Our width is going to be 50, very neutral. Player instructions playing a big part here, which we'll jump into in a second. And then we do actually run 7 players in box, which is quite aggressive, but there's a reason for that. And then 2 corners and 2 free kicks, and we will show you how to take our corners in the video. For both of your fullbacks, you are going to want them on stay back while attacking and overlap. For our left mid and right mid, we are actually going come back on defense and then cut inside. For both of your center mids, we are going to run them on stay back while attacking and cover center. The 7 players in box works a treat though, because you will actually see your center mids push forward ever so slightly for late runs into the box. For both of your strikers, you are going to run stay forward, and then for your quicker striker, your more nimble one, we're going to go for get in behind. Now, to talk about how to actually play the 4-4-2, ideally up front, you are going to want one big striker. I use Tammy Abraham, and one very quick striker. The idea here is that the quick striker can burst past the defenders with step overs and break through for simple tap-ins, or you want to be able to cross that ball in to obviously your bigger striker. The left mid and right mid need to be able to handle their own, so they need pace. If they've got physicality as well, that will help absolutely huge. For your centre mids, ideally, you want one ball-playing midfielder. I use Pedri, and then you want more defensive-minded midfielder, someone with a bit of height, someone with a bit of physical presence. Rabiot is used here, because the key thing is that these players like Rabiot, Vieira, can also be used for those German crosses, sending that midfielder on a run and then looking to cross the ball from deep. Fullbacks are personal preference, really. I do like fullbacks, though, that are very good at going forward. Alexandro is great at this. That way, I can help build out on that wing, look for those 1-2s, overlap with the fullbacks as and when required. For your wingers as well, if they can have the finesse shot trait or the outside the foot shot trait, that'll be great, because then they can look for travellas and they can also look for finesse shots. Whether you want to play a right side footer on the right side is your choice. If you cross more, that could be great. But let's say, for example, you have someone that is left-footed with the outside the foot shot trait, put them on the left-hand side, cut in to still find travellas, because they can still work. It goes without saying your centre-backs need to have a little bit of pace and strength about them. I use Ben White and Bonucci. Similar sort of pairing will work a treat. The 4-4-2 works in a great way, working the ball up and down the pitch and using your 2 strikers. We can see here Tammy Abraham. We're going to trigger him on that run with L1. He's going to make that darting run forward. We go wide, thread it back into the middle, and you just carve open that defense as easy as that. Offensively, the 4-4-2 works exceptionally well because you have 2 banks of 4. What I would say is if you ever pull one of your fullbacks out of position or you get a little bit aggressive, just play the long game, track the over-the-top through balls with your centre-backs like we do here. Stand them up, don't be aggressive. Once they've beaten your press, it's just about maintaining and waiting for the right time to step in, because then you can use the wing play and get the ball into your strikers to hit on that counter. You obviously have 2 centre mids, which can link up really well, but I'd really encourage you to try and find the strikers. You can see here, they're all sat waiting for the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box. If you can find them and then drive drive and get past the opponent, you will have easy sweat across. With the 4-4-2, you do want to try and defend with your right mid and left mid as well on comeback on defense, bringing them back as much as you can to create those two banks of four. If they beat past your right mid, it's not a problem. Your right back's there. Your right centre mid can come over as well. And then when you get that ball and you defend it, it is all about trying to hit as quick as you can on the counter. Mbappe just driving forward. That's why having a quick striker is so crucial. In this example here, I just want to show you how we're going to work the ball downwards and then back up. You want to go across in the 4-4-2 and then back up across, like a zigzag really, up and down the pitch, which is exactly what we do. We spread the ball wide, we go into the middle, and then one more at the top of the screen. Abraham is there. Using the L1 triggers and relying on that final third runs will be so crucial for you as well. We have the getting behind on our quick striker, Mbappe. You'll find them so many more times just running in behind, giving you the through ball options, giving you the ability to find them as and when you can. So where does the 4-4-2 do well into? It works into quite a lot of formations because it is so defensively sound. One thing I would say is that this really helps against the 5 at the back, because they have their wing play, right? When they spread the ball wide with the 5 at the back, it's always nice to have your right mid and left mid and come back on defense to help deal with them on the fullback. It can get a little bit overcrowded in the middle if you play against a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, a 4-3-2-1, but you can still compete with this. This is something I always remind you with formations and tactics. If you match someone that maybe they're playing something a bit more unique that you're finding difficult to deal with, it can be easy to just match their formation. Don't deep too much into this formation counters that, this formation counters this. Play what you are comfortable with. But honestly, the 4-4-2 for me over the years has been one of the greatest formations, and I really recommend you to give this a go. As I said, if you find the press on heavy touch a little bit too much, just knock it back, come back to balanced. It really isn't an issue. You'll still have lots of success and joy with it. And obviously, if you're on old gen, just make sure you lower that depth. Dribbling obviously plays a massive part as well in tactics and build-up, and for you to be a great FIFA player, I would recommend going and checking out this video right here if dribbling is something that you struggle with.